This is a video for the Walther PPX pistol. It's a light double action or pre-cocked double action pistol, and specifically for this pistol. Although it can be in general used for this stuff. What we're going to cover right now is going to be for grip, stance, sight alignment, sight picture, trigger press, and follow through. So it'd be shooting your gun. Okay, so the first thing that we want to have is a grip on the pistol, and it's going to be as high as you can get it, and it's going to be with your primary shooting hand. And I recommend even to lefties to learn how to shoot right-handed, not to, in order not to handicap yourself with most guns being designed right-handed. We do learn how to shoot left-handed eventually, so what's really the point? Just learn how to shoot right-handed, and all the guns will be set up for you. So we have a grip, we have a for the primary hand, the secondary or supporting hand. This is where your competitive shooters have kind of taught us some things here. They tend to have this bone here basically level with the ground, so they've tipped their hand down. They have the hand up as high as it possibly can be, and it's still underneath that trigger guard. You can see underneath here. It's kind of pretty easy to see that, or I don't know, it depends on the video. I'm up underneath and I've got that hand rotated down. I'm gripping, so I'm holding in and I'm pressing this portion of the flesh of my hand right here, the inside portion of my thumb and palm, in against the open frame and stock of the pistol. And this way I'm kind of supporting it on both sides of the pistol from moving, so that when it recoils it comes straight up instead of coming up into the side. So as you can see, it comes up. It doesn't come up in these other directions, and the reason why is you want it to come as close back to where you had it aligned when you fired it, after you fired it, and it comes back down. So you're just trying to hold that. One other thing that has really helped a lot of people is to press one hand into the other. So this one pulls back, this one presses forward, and you can in fact tighten your tighten your grip, or cause your grip to be more firm upon the pistol under those circumstances. So we've established grip. We want the trigger press, putting your trigger finger on the trigger. We're looking at putting the center of your pad across the center of the trigger. And what that does, you can see, is typically in most pistols, and a proper grip being aligned with your forearm, your trigger finger is more or less, it's pretty close to a 90-degree angle. And certainly when it's fired, it's closer to a 90-degree angle. So you're pulling just straight back down, almost like you wouldn't need these fingers in order to pull that trigger on the pistol and have it not pull one way or the other when you're firing it. So trigger press, we have a trigger press is smooth. You're just stacking the pressure. You're not deciding to shoot. You're deciding to just continue stacking the pressure until it does fire. Once it fires, the best way to indicate and to make sure the shot stays where it's going is to just continue to press backward. We're not starting to utilize any muscles to let go of the trigger before it's already pressed all the way to the rear. So what it looks like is the pistol cycles and you still actually have pressure on the trigger, so that you are going to need to reset the trigger. You can see this hammer is back, but it actually can't fire. There's nothing you can do to make it fire until you've actually moved your trigger finger. So you move your trigger finger forward to reset. You should hear a click on all pistols that I know of. The reset requires or makes an audible sound. You can feel it in the handgun also, so you'll learn to see that. So we have trigger press, it fires, you have follow through. I'm hand cycling the gun because that indicates, or that's like it was firing, but we're doing it dry. If there's a round in the chamber, it just does what it does. It cycles and it'll look like that, and I'll have a new round in the chamber, and the spent one will have gone flying. So we've done trigger press, follow through, and then when you're done, you know, firing in a sequence or whatever, you pull your finger off the trigger. So what it looks like is we have our primary grip, our support hand, our stance is a solid footing, feet equal distance apart. You're leaning forward a little bit, to absorb that recoil. You have your trigger press and your follow through. We're going to talk a little bit about sight alignment. Before you're pressing your trigger, you need to align the sights. They can tell you where the handgun is actually pointed. So you have your front sight and your rear sight. You want those tops of those equal, and this front sight needs to be centered in that notch, that rear notch of your rear sights. So it's kind of hard to see. I can just get it lined up just a little bit. It's kind of hard, but it looks about like that. And of course, I'm just moving around. It's going to move around a little bit. You get that sight alignment. The sight picture is where you have taken the aligned sights and you have put them on the target that you're aligning to. The point of impact on most pistols is going to be top dead center of the front sight. We focus on that front sight because you can only focus on one thing. Everything else is going to be a little bit fuzzy, so we pick the thing in the center. That one will, when you cut the target in half and you put the front sight in the center, it's not the center of the dot, it's the center of the front top of the front sight. That's for purposes of real precision. So you'd take like a bullseye and you'd cut that bullseye in half and then have the top dead center of your front sight in the center of that bullseye. And that's for normal combat guns are set up that way. Some do shoot a little bit high. You better hope that it doesn't shoot low, because then your sights are covering up actually where the impact is, and that's not really a good thing. And at high, you can tell where that might be in relation to your front sight, but low, no. And normal is that they design these things generally to be pretty much right on at the factory. So that'll cover basically your shooting. And we're going to go on to combat reloads, and we're going to take care of that in the next video.